Hey guys, welcome to the stream. I'm Ed from Mission Impossible, and with me I have Jeff from Into the Vertical Blank. Say hi, Jeff. Hello, you're muted. Why are you muted? I'm muted on your side, I think. Can't hear
I
you.
muted because I was eating trail mix.
That's probably a good
Um,
idea to mute then.
I turned on a more light. I'm not sure if that works better than before or not.
It looks fine, I think.
Okay.
welcome to the show. So this is our first ever retro access memories. Want to do something a little different with the show a little bit and just have guests on. We can go through old retro games. Basically we're picking different platforms, starting out with Atari ST just because it just doesn't get enough love. But we'll be showing in the future episodes. We'll be showing other platforms, computers mostly probably, but pretty much we'll see what we can get into. But yeah, so Jeff, you're with Into the Vertical Blank, which is a podcast and YouTube channel. Why don't you
Yes,
tell
sir.
the viewers a little bit about your show?
Um, 2017, we started up a podcast, mostly my twin brother and I talking about our memories of playing on the Atari systems, and then each one of us would write like a story, and we would do the story, and then Steve started making really elaborate ones. Um, and then we sort of I got an STE and a bunch of other hardware and started making videos. And just this year, we started making like long form history videos and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So, and then we take the audio, put it on the podcast, back and forth, things like
Yeah,
that.
it's
It's
kind of
it's
nice
it's
because
fun.
I remember when I first started hanging out with you guys, you were mostly just doing stuff on the podcast, and now you
Yeah.
guys are doing a lot more with YouTube. Especially like you were talking about the history, like the Lost Dutchman mine stuff. That's very, very cool, especially since you guys are kind of interweaving your personal experiences in along with the history or whatever,
That's
which is pretty cool to me because it really kind of ties things together, and I like that.
yeah, it's
So,
fun. And
yeah.
I especially though watch things like your channel
Well, that's always a good thing.
because I love to watch people playing games I haven't seen, or even if I've seen them.
Sure.
And but I like history ones too.
Yeah, my biggest thing is for me is with any kind of media that I enjoy. It's always cool to have somebody try it out that hasn't ever seen it before, and especially if it's something really neat to where you're like, oh yeah, I really want to see what they're gonna how they're gonna react at certain points, so this is kind of the same way. We've been doing the 2600 stuff, and with Wyatt, my co-host, he didn't have a 2600. I mean, he's way older, and or way younger. He was born way later, and so he didn't really have any kind of context on a lot of this. So for him, he's seeing all this stuff for the first time, and while I consider some of these games like, yeah, oh my God, this is the best game ever,
Right.
playing it again, sometimes it definitely have a case of rose tinted glasses,
Yeah, I've seen a couple
of,
of those where
yeah.
Wyatt's all, if you say so, Ed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like, and sometimes, it's very obvious. It's like, okay, no, this was way better. You definitely can see it. But the nice thing is, with him, he can kind of also look at it as, this was for this time. You have to look at it within the context. That's huge. You can't compare it to a modern AAA game. It's like, no, it's not a thing. Anyway, so let's
Steve.
see.
Hey, Steve.
Steve. Yes.
So we went past 1,000 subscribers
Oh, you
today
did
off of
today.
Steve's links video.
Awesome. Congratulations, guys. It's a great,
It's hard to get subscribers with
milestone.
Atari content, I'm telling you.
Well, you're telling me.
You know.
No, I mean there's dozens of us out there, so it's a thing. But yeah, Atari ST is kind of interesting. It's like it definitely doesn't get enough love. So
No.
that's why anytime I can, I try to show ST stuff. When I can. So. Speaking of that, let's play some games. I've been actually just set this up. It's called Big Box, And so it's I've been using Launchbox for a while, and Big Box is the more kiosk version or arcade machine version. It's pretty cool actually. It's got some nice visuals as far as being able to see like the screenshots, and the box art really big, as well as on the side where it has the cool logo and everything. So the way I wanted to do this show is kind of like, okay, we pick a platform, which we did, ATARI ST. And basically, we each come to the table with the list of games. And so we just kind of alternate back and forth. So, and I've kind of pre-vetted them, make sure they all work for Jeff's. But Jeff, why don't you tell me what game we want to see first?
Okay, so the first one I was thinking about taking a look at, the game that I have just started to play. I actually added to my version of Launchbox for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Terry's Big Adventure.
Okay.
And what I like about it, it's sort of a little Mario style, like a Mario Brothers style game.
Okay.
But it's done really well, not just technically, but it's easy to get into. The physics work right. And these guys who made it, Shades, didn't make too many other games for the ST. It's kind of sad. And that's it. They made one. While you're setting that up, I need to turn off this extra light.
You're good. You're good. Okay, so I'm gonna fire this up, and hopefully all of my automation stuff will work right. There we go.
But I
Cool.
think technically it's good too. They didn't try to do too much. It scrolls properly, which I have a big thing about.
I know you do.
Which see, I only have a big thing about this. I only care if a game scrolls if it helps the gameplay, right? If
Sure.
a game jumps from one screen to the next, but there's nothing to kill you instantly when you jump to the next screen.
Right.
But if the game was meant to scroll, so there would be things that can kill you right when you go to the next screen, it should scroll even if they slow, even if it's still scrolling.
Sure. Okay,
Anyway.
so unfortunately, I didn't get the thing to be all remote play, so I'll be playing and you can be watching.
That's okay. Next time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna fire this up, and it does have decent music if I remember. So let me turn this up a little bit. Let me turn this up a little bit so people can hear it. Okay. So this looks like you have like a yo-yo or something.
You have a yo-yo. The cool thing about this is that there are not a lot of cheap deaths really too.
There's not a
it's
lot.
good game design.
Not a lot of what? What were you saying?
Cheap death.
Oh, cheap deaths. Okay. The jumping is quite tall. It's like boom.
Yeah. Oh, and you can jump. Yeah, you can jump high. And this physics are a little Mario-like, which I'm not great at slidey physics when you jump and slide.
Sure.
But it's still pretty good.
I think one of the biggest problems is, we've talked about the one joystick you having to do, or one button having to do the diagonal jump.
But emulation, Ed, we're in emulation now.
Yeah, I know.
So you should be able to map the second button to jump.
Up?
Not
to
an
up.
Atari.
Yeah, but the thing is, doing it to up is kind of odd, too. So, I mean, I guess it could work.
Well, it works. I mean, a lot of games you could map the buttons, maybe to have button 1 be fire and 2 be jump, kind of like on the NES.
Right. Yeah, but the deal is that you'd have to. I mean, up. Yeah, I guess it could work, man. The up is very sensitive. It's just like you're jumping like crazy. Part of it might be back controls too. But anyway, so you just recently found this game? Is that what you were saying?
So I played it once or twice, testing out games for videos. I put it in one, and then when you said look for games I haven't really tried before, really trying to find things were kind of new and stuff, I wanted to just find one, and I booted this up and I'm all, what? Like I had never really tried it before.
Yeah.
And then I thought maybe doing History of Shades, but I only found one game.
So I don't think there's anything you can do about it. But Atari Legend just comment, by the way, thanks for joining. That your audio is not so great, Jeff. I'm hearing that as well, so I think it's on your end. I don't think you did anything. Just have you not talk. Yeah, you're.
I did see real quick that my audio's off, and it's echoey a little bit, but I'm not sure if that's the problem or if it's something else.
No, it's like you're cutting out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you changed anything. Seems
I
like
didn't change anything.
when you got up to do something, it
Oh.
changed for some reason. Seems odd, but
Interesting.
yeah. Okay.
Well, the less you hear from me, the better.
Right. They hear me all the time, man. I don't know what you're talking about. So, this is kind of cool. To be honest, the platformers, this kind of deal, aren't usually my style, but this is pretty cool. Yeah, it's got decent music, and
Platformer fan either, but I like that they tried to make one on the SD and did a good job.
Yeah, the scrolling
without
is
going
nice
overboard.
and smooth.
There's no parallax scrolling.
No,
it just is a game.
I don't need parallax scrolling, but the scrolling, the horizontal scrolling is good. I mean, it's there's so I mean, there's stuff going on. We got is that supposed to be spelling Terry on the bottom? I guess.
I think so. And you pick up a bunch of tools and things to use, so it's more than just your typical Mario game.
Right. It's got more going on. So that doesn't up there. It looked like it was water. Oh, it is water. Okay. I thought I was able to walk on it. It's not obvious, I think, because it's at the same kind of level. Okay. But this is pretty neat. I think it's kind of weird when I hit one of the bad guys, I jump back. It's like I don't know why, but
maybe because they implemented recoil with your yo-yo.
Yeah, I've got a recoiling yo-yo. That's what it is. That must be it. See, like that. That's kind of weird. It's like, I mean, odd. Now I think I have to hit them with my yo-yo. I can't just jump on them, right?
You know what? I don't know.
Uh-oh, don't fall in the water. What's this? Down. This looks like I should be able to go down or something. I don't know what that little, looks like a symbol I can do something with. But, so I got another R. Okay, cool. Well, let me try, oops. Hello, is like, he's cussing when I die.
I didn't find instructions for this.
It started when you turn off the light. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got up.
Really? I should turn the light back on again?
No,
No, it's
fine,
from me hitting the thing, probably.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Okay, cool. I mean, it looks like if you get Terry, looking on the screen at the bottom, it's got TERY, or I'm assuming it's TE, equals an extra life. So I guess that's how you get an extra life. That's kind of cool, actually. But it also, it has a bunch of stuff in there. It has a clock, and then it has the lives, and then it looks like coins, and then it's like a rocks, and looks like you're collecting mushrooms. Avoid green poisonous mushrooms. Carry all the Terry letters for shield. Oh no, I guess not. It's just for a shield. Oh, I see what it is. It's like it's got a highlight around him. I guess that means it's a shield.
Wearing a shield.
So, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, Atari legend, where are the instructions for Terry's Big Adventure?
I had a hell of a time. I could not find accurate box art for this. I had to. I took a page out of your book, Jeff.
You downloaded?
I downloaded it and I edited it in Photoshop. It was for Commodore 64.
That's what I did too. I did the same thing.
That's hilarious. You should just
actually. I added the SD sticker to mine. You did not.
See, I was trying to keep it kind of generic or whatever. It doesn't have to be that, but yeah. So I'm like, nah, I can't have the Commodore one there. That's just not gonna work.
Hey, thanks, Steve. No, you said nice word, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
What's up with my audio now? What does it sound like?
Sounds fine to me. So hopefully it was just some random error. Okay, so now.
So what's your game, Ed?
My game is one of my favorites. I went through. You kind of just picked random ones. I went through and I found the games that I actually owned back in the day that I really, really liked. And
good idea. Well, I have a couple.
Okay, well, we can see if they're working. Now, one of the things is, I just set up the ST stuff not that long ago, so there's a lot that still needs some work. But I don't know why they misspelled it on there, but this is one of my favorites on the ST.
We just did an hour-long video on Minter, and then this game is basically the basis of the video.
Yeah.
It's a good video. It's a good game.
Oh, it's just an amazing game. It's just amazing. I can't say enough about this game. Actually, I can say enough about this game. There's
Can't
more.
say enough about it.
I know more about this game than I probably want to cover in this broadcast. Anyway, so
Oh
yeah.
no, you can cover that. Just don't say the word.
Yeah, there we go. So the deal is that so this is a Robotron reimagining, I guess. Now, one of the things that is neat is that I actually have it set up with a I do all my gaming on these controllers. I love these Xbox One controllers, and so I have it actually set up because the game was intended to be able to be played with 2 joysticks. And in the original Robotron, that was the case. You have the left one to move and the right one to fire in a direction. Well, the way Jeff Minter set it up is that you have your second joystick. If you hit the start button on the second joystick, on the fire button, then you go into a 2 joystick mode. Well, I've got that rigged up here so I can actually hit 2 start, the 2, and then I can go. I want to go a certain direction with shooting and not have to deal with the funkiness of not having that mode, because really it was designed for this. Come on.
Are you using 2 analog sticks or the D-pad in an analog stick?
No, 2 analogs. I use the analogs even in places where it's digital. I don't care. I just like the movement.
Yeah.
But this works famously. It is amazing. And if you haven't played Lomatron with 2 sticks, you're missing out. Come on, buddy. Come on over here.
I actually played Robotron this way, but on the emulated Atari 7800 with two.
So did they do that as well on the 20s on there? So now the question is, did they do that on the ST version?
5200. Excuse me, 5200.
Okay, but it still uses. That would be really hard to use. I guess you just put them on your lap or something, and then because
there was a
really
couple
hold them.
In fact, I have a couple of.
Oh, okay, nice.
For the 5200, which doesn't work.
Okay.
I mean, the game works, the cartridge works, the machine doesn't work.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I actually spent. Let's see, what was it the other night? We were working on repairing a 5200 controller. I replaced it with the Best Electronics gold, the gold contacts thing. And then I plugged it in. It didn't work on my 5200, but I think that the 5200 actually has issues with the control. Did
I give you one of the 5200s?
Not a 5200, but I think I got a controller from you.
A controller.
Yeah.
Because you see, you didn't have one, but I had like 4 extras.
Yeah, of course. Everybody's got a bunch of those because, well, they suck and they're broke.
Yeah, that was a cash cow for Atari, just selling new controllers from broken 5200 controllers.
Nice. So I guess I was talking to my friend was helping me with a lot of the console or the repair work and stuff, and she said there's a guy online selling. His business is selling like 5200 controllers that are not broken.
Well, Ed Ladden does, and I think
see, my problem is even if you
GRS,
it's a crap controller by itself. Even if it's perfectly working, if it was day one, it's still a crap controller because of the non-centering. The auto centering is needed. I mean, it's dumb to not have that, but that's my personal opinion that is just correct. Anyway,
watch out for the metal brat.
Yeah. I'll always love the sound effect. Just screams like crazy. But
you can tell your story about what it screams if you type in the right
exactly.
password.
So notice that there's a couple times if you put in, let's say, if when you die, it sometimes will say OF, a certain 4-letter word that I usually don't try to say on this channel. I try to stay family friendly. It's not always perfect, but if you enter in that certain word on the high score page, it'll actually say the whole thing instead of getting cut off. See on here, it kind of says the f, and that's it. It's kind of a neat thing I found by accident as a kid. I don't know how like documented that is, but it was just something that I don't know if I found it or my friend found it. I got a buddy of mine, Chris, that I'd love it if he could come onto this channel sometime. Even though we played a lot of the same games, I guess we could just play the same games again.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Games are fun to play. But I was gonna say that bad words and kids in video games, they mix, right? Kids
Sure.
want that.
Sure. I just, I'm monetized now, so that's my big announcement. So
Nice job.
I don't want to, there we go, the little cutoff there. Anyway, oh, that's right, those are bad guys. I gotta shoot those cherries, not go get them. They look like they were power ups. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I dying? This game has crazy amount of different bad guys. We had telephones, we had Coke cans, we have just all kinds of craziness. And
Also, it's
never
Jeff
gets
Minter
slow.
basically making his software Maria chip.
Yeah, it's it's never slows down. It no matter how much stuff is on the screen, it's just a cool game. I mean, I again, there's a reason why it's one of my favorites. And it was shareware, It's like I've thought about it. It's like, I don't think he probably lives at the same address, but it'd be funny to I don't know if he still gets shareware, people sending him money for shareware stuff.
So you can, though. I actually went to his current website, and there's a thing about helping with the latest game, and I gave him money for one of his games based on that. I gave him
Okay.
$10 or something like that.
Nice. It would just be, be kind of cool. Is I don't know if he ever released, probably not a version of this game that didn't have like the shareware thing at the beginning, like a licensed version of the game.
Licensed version.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting to have that. It's like,
I do have a licensed version of Andy's Attack. I sent to him to get it, and I think something like this came back with it.
oh, weird.
So, yeah.
So, it's hard to see with the chat. I need to mess with
I
it.
was going to say, if you want to try out Robotron really fast to see the difference.
Yeah, sure.
Whoever did Robotron did an excellent job for like a game made in 1986 on the ST.
Right, now it was Atari released, right?
It was an Atari release Robotron.
They only had...
If you don't have it set up, that's fine.
No, I do. They actually didn't have many of these releases, the blue box releases. I mean, there was only a handful of them, right? Oh, Andromeda Software. Okay, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, Andromeda.
The third party, which was then be a license from Williams or whatever. But
Atari still owned the home computer rights to it.
Ah, interesting. So they could do it. Interesting. I always wonder how that kind of stuff works.
They did a decent job. But it's just not. It's not Lomatron.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine it being okay. So you can play. Okay, we can do this. You can do it. So this should theoretically work the same way because I already have it set up. Okay, let me try it out here. I didn't notice that. Oh yeah. Okay.
Works the same way.
It's not Lomatron, but it's Robotron in the proper method here, or proper way. Cool.
Can you explain a little bit how with Atari, how you set up the two joysticks to work this way?
So what I did is, because Atari, that's Atari is the emulator that I use. I used to use Steam, but there were some problems with it. But anyway, I use Atari, and what I do is I actually, because the joystick is not mappable, it's like either you have the joystick or you don't, and it's really not ideal. It is open source, I believe, and it's, if I ever get some free time, I could modify it. But basically what I want is to be able to have hotkeys mapped to my controller, so I can have like space bar and all that stuff, so I can easily be able to control things. Well, so what I ended up doing is I ended up just not using joysticks, and I use Joy2Key. So I use a external program, and then so I have it so you can map with Joy2Key. You can map anything to anything pretty much. So I can say, okay, so these two controller, this one controller sends all these keys. So I've got my right hand one. I'm using the numeric keypad up, down, left, right, and the left hand side is the arrow keys. Sometimes it can get a little screwy in some games, and there's some things I've noticed that it's a little bit hard to maneuver sometimes, and so I noticed that being kind of weird. Like I was trying out Pac-Man, the OE Pac-Man. I don't know if you've ever seen this, just randomly. I'll show you. It doesn't have any art because I haven't set it up yet. But this was, I don't think this was Pac-Man. Or was this maybe the Pac? It didn't say Pac-Man.
Is this Pac-Man on ease?
That's the thing. It may be, but it didn't say that in the on the title screen. So I haven't tried that one, so you have to tell me if it's if it is there or not, or if that's the one. Definitely got some DMA music. See, it just says full on Pac-Man, but I don't. It's not. It doesn't say the. It doesn't say on E. It just says. So that's why and I've heard of this. I just never tried it. But one of the things I noticed while doing with the controls.
This is Pac-Man on E.
Okay.
Yeah.
The controls are a little bit weird because, and I don't think it's the game, because if I use the keyboard, I can work okay. But the problem is like I want to change direction, and it's not fast enough, and I'm not sure if it's a latency thing with the Joy-2 key. There may be a thing I can do to make it better, but I think maybe the fast action on this maybe is hurting it there. But I was playing this the other night just a lot. I was like, this game is freaking awesome.
Yeah, this is a really good pack. There's a wealth of good Pac-Man games on the Atari ST.
Yeah, I think
good Galaxian games.
Those
are the last two videos I did on games for them. I did some Galaxian ones and Pac-Man ones.
That'll work. Okay. Just this game is just cool. I just was like, wow, I would have, if I'd have had this, I'd have probably played the hell out of it. Now this was public domain, right? Because
it's public domain in a sense. I don't know if they charge a license fee or anything like that.
I mean, because it's unlicensed, so that'd be hard for them to pay money or get money for it. But yeah, back in the day, I when I went off to college, I played, when I found the FTP sites and was able to download demos and shareware games and stuff, I went crazy with it. And I never found this, so that's why I was kind of curious. But it did come out later. That's right. It said 94, I think.
94, yeah.
Yeah, so I was actually in 94. I might have already been moving on to PC at that point. So
unfortunately, even
the
stores near us that sold the imported software were kind of leaking low on that. Like there was not a lot to show, so we had to kind of move to PC, and we didn't have access to the internet proper yet.
Right.
So it was FTP was not something we could use. So we didn't see the store to buy.
Right.
Then we decided to move on to whatever software, this little egghead software, which turned to be PC software.
Sure. Well, I, back in those days, I was heavily into, I guess late on the ST part, I was heavily into bulletin board systems, BBSs.
Oh, yeah.
But, that was kind of the thing, I was looking at some of the games, I was like, oh, what games did I have? And funny enough, by that time, a lot of it, I was playing games, but they weren't the same kind of games. And so some of them were like long games that wouldn't be appropriate for a stream. It's like, I'm not going to fire up an RPG really, because it's like, it takes a while to just even get into it. Okay. I feel like I can be playing this
most of the games we played were RPGs. Right. Nowadays, I want to play these. This is the only time I have.
Right, so you have very limited time. See, me, I like the heavier games. All right, so let's get out of here. I'm sitting there
That was a
dominating.
cool game, though.
Yeah. What's your next one here? What's your next game?
Well, you did Robotron.
Uh huh.
I have another action game.
Okay, we got.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Were you able to set up Scramble Spirits with the 16 megahertz?
I was. So
Okay, so let's try Scramble Spirits, not 16 megahertz first.
okay.
So, we went through and tried to find which games are timed properly to use with the vertical blank and with the vertical, because I'm in the vertical blank all the time.
There you go.
But if the game is timed to be in the vertical blank, it will actually run fine on the Mega ST and 16 megahertz and just speed up the rendering, not speed up the clock.
Right.
And so Scramble Spirits is one that needed it because it's too slow at 8 megahertz.
Okay, yeah, I actually found one by accident too. I'll have to show this one after. But yeah, I did set it up. I saved it, but I haven't reloaded that into Lunchbox. I'm kind of, my thought is if it works, I'll probably just replace the other ones. Like, you might as well. You know, it's like,
Oh, I see.
why do you want to show the original one? But it's, so here we go. So this is at the standard stock.
This game has
ST.
2 players simultaneously if we could ever get the thing to
Yeah,
work, too.
that I am hoping to have done by the next episode.
Well, this
So-
isn't really your type of game, but it's something we could do.
Right. Actually, you know, to be honest, I do like these kind of games, the vertical shooters, probably more than horizontal shooters. I don't know why. Maybe because you can actually kind of see what's coming. Man, I guess you would do it on horizontal.
No, I think
too.
vertical is more fun because the orientation is the way you're looking. You're not looking horizontally.
I think
and
that's what
the
it
difference.
is. You can kind of. I mean, so I used to play like games like Raiden and 1943 and all those games a lot. And but yeah, so this is fair.
It's fair.
yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
But it's what you expect from sort of I don't know if it's inexperienced ST program. I'm not going to say that because I don't
Right.
know if they were.
Right. But I mean, you know, there's no music, which, you know, they would be hard pressed to show some of the music, but or have music and sound effects, as we know. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty standard fare. It looks like from a normal, you know, thing. They handled the bombs just by doing bombs every time, as well as the shooting or every other shot or whatever. As opposed to a button, you know, that was a typical thing, is to do another button for a bomb.
Yeah, you have to press the space bar on this one, right? Did you
Oh.
map to the second button?
Oh, I actually have spacebar, but it's not. I said fire, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was shooting something special.
oh, it's interesting. Here we go. I'm gonna try this.
Oh, 2
boy.
player?
How do I do this? Can I do this?
It's a good idea.
Let me try this. I'm gonna see if I can lock my buttons in. Oh, well, no, I need to be able to hit the controllers too.
Why don't you load up the 16 megahertz one? Because it'll be more fun. Like, you won't have to slow down.
Why is this so zoomed in?
Okay, because you're in the next mode.
Oh, okay.
At the end of the level is like this special thing where you're kind of flying low
Oh, it's a
and blowing
bonus.
stuff up.
It's a bonus. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun, actually. So I've got it set up. It's kind of a
That's
little awkward.
perfect.
It's kind of a little awkward, but hey, you know what?
Wait a minute. That's going to be good for lots of games, actually. What about Gauntlet?
It's hard. It's hard because I'm using just my fingers on the joysticks, and it just doesn't. It's very like it's doing this thing, you know. At the same time, it's not gonna work. All right.
You
so,
know what? Let me tell you a little story about Steve.
Uh-huh.
There was a game where you ran up
So
the
who's Steve?
that
For
screen
our
and
audience,
shot things.
People don't know
Forget
about
what it was.
Steve.
It wasn't Commando. It was one of the. But Steve, you would let you have 2 players, and Steve made an Atari joystick that had 2 wires coming out of it with DB9s on it. You could plug them both into 2, and you could have one Atari joystick control 2 guys on screen just so he could play that game and be better at it.
That's hilarious.
That's what happens when you buy games. You'll
Uh-huh.
modify controllers for them. If you just pirate games, you don't give a shit. You move on to the next game, right?
Yeah, true.
Oh,
so-
excuse me for saying the bad word.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, I do have it on here, but so what I'm going to do is I saved it, but there's no real reason. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just pump it up to 16 megahertz, and that's
Yeah, just do that.
I
It'll work
think
fine.
I don't think I have to go to a Mega ST. You were
You
saying
don't have
yeah,
to.
yeah. So
There's
I'm
a special cache that helps a little bit with the speed, but it's not a big deal.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to go here, and so now we're in 16 megahertz. The way that the timing works with that image that shows up. The images that I'm using are Peter Putnick's versions of these. And what he does is he uses I don't know what the technique is called, but it's the spectrum technique or whatever, to be able to show more colors on the screen. So yeah, so we can hit, I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna do it, fire to start. All right, and then now we're gonna hold it down. And yeah, definitely better. So let's see if I can just do this. Maybe a little easier than trying to have them going all different directions.
It's the magic of emulation, Ed.
Yeah,
But then, of course,
exactly.
if you're going to play this, you might as well just play the arcade version, right? Because you're in
Probably.
emulation. But,
Yeah, it's fine.
you know,
Well, we're
I
trying
like
to show-
filming SD games.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it'd be better to show like the games, the exclusives or whatever. But, ports are okay too. You like a lot of ports. For me, once I found MAME and started doing the emulation stuff, that was like everything I always wanted as a kid. I mean, I take it back. What I really wanted as a kid was JAMA, and it's like to be able to have like every arcade game in one cabinet kind of thing. And actually, it's funny. As I remember as a kid, I was kind of like designing a system to be able to do that. And this was way before emulation was a thing and all that stuff. So it's interesting. And it's like cool when I actually found that I could do that. Okay, so we're gonna be in the new mode here. Okay.
Yeah, you get down to I think you're landing on
Like a
the
landing strip
strip,
kind of deal.
but then you're kind of low. You're not
Right.
really rolling.
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird. It's odd the mode that it's in with being zoomed in.
I do have a really soft spot for ports because I like to see what the machines could do. So that's why they're like, "Let's just play the arcade game. This is a demake," and I'm also not a demake. This is just a port. Like there's a difference between a port and a demake.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, yeah, the ports are always great. Back then, obviously we couldn't just go to the arcade all the time, and so I mean, obviously I'm jaded. It's been a long time since we've had to go to an arcade to be able to play an arcade game. Yeah, I mean, so the ports were the next best thing. If the ports were good, then sometimes it was just horrendous to where I was like, yeah, I'd rather just not play the game.
Did you ever have an NES?
I didn't, not as a kid.
Neither do we. We were a full Atari and Sega too.
I had
But,
my Atari 8-bit at that time, and it was just like that. I looked at it as like, well, I didn't really feel like I was missing out too much. I mean,
No.
yeah, Mario Brothers, yes, and Zelda and stuff.
But the ports
Yeah,
on the NES were always a different game.
yeah.
And so that made them good. That made their ports a little better, even though maybe Commando's not.
Well,
things like that.
they worked within their means, and that's the thing you got to realize. On a lot of these games, it's like you're trying to do too much, like especially like the controls or whatever, and it's just, what am I supposed to be doing in this thing? Just shooting? I don't see it. This is just too weird with the two controllers. I'm just gonna say, it's just I can't.
That's why you map both to one stick.
Yeah, I could. That's gonna be crazy. Then it's just double firepower. Just
Well,
cheat
if
mode
they
at that
start
point.
at different spots,
Yeah,
then
but they're
they'll
gonna
be
run into the
moving in
wall.
tandem and never on top of one another.
Yeah, you're gonna hit in the wall though, and that's gonna line them up.
Yeah, if you hit the wall, then it'll.
Yeah. So, I like it when they tell you that you're actually doing something on them. And it's like, at least this one is showing the little red fireballs coming off of there and stuff. But Jeremiah, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate you being here. Yeah. Forgive Jeff and his language.
I'm sorry. No more language.
No more language at all. How do you guys speak? Anyway, this
We
is
already
actually
admitted
good.
that it was better without me speaking.
No, I think you admitted that. I did not.
I mean, we meaning me.
Yeah, well, the royal we. Okay, so here we go. So let's go to the next one here. It's one I actually had up earlier. Oh, I'm pretty close to it. Oh, wait. Okay, why we have the names on here sometimes are, I guess, because the names are different. Oh, here's one. Real quick, I'm gonna fire this up. This is one I just happened to see, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And
This is weird, huh?
so this is actually running. I actually modified it. This is what I was talking about earlier about if I find something that runs at 60 megahertz, I might as well save it as that. You know, there's no reason to play an 8 megahertz. You know, so I mean, I can fire up the 8 megahertz one, but this is, you can already tell that this is way too fast for the typical ST game. You know, as far as the action and stuff. This is very, very playable. You know, again, another platformer, but I just happened to see this. I guess it was called Vixen in some areas, and She Wolf or whatever, She Fox in some other areas. Now, again, we have the button issue. I guess, you know, I'm gonna have to try the button thing. Now, the problem is then I would not be able to have easy button access. I guess I could do a separate one just for like games like Robotron and where you need the two joystick thing. But having the second button mapped here for jump would be handy. Now, certain games like Turrican,
There is a version of Lib Retro Hatari, which now I can pronounce properly.
There you go. Oh, what's that? Oh, what's a thing? I never noticed that was a thing.
That has spacebar automatically mapped to the second button.
Sure, but I just really don't. I don't like using that. You don't have the control.
No, I'm saying they did it, so it
yeah.
should be available to anybody to do.
Well, theoretically, I mean, it's open source, so you can do whatever you want. So,
right.
But anyway, I just wanted. This is running at 60 megahertz, and it's actually pretty dang good.
That's it. It's like a precursor to Jewel of the Jungle on the
pretty
PC.
much, yeah. But 98 or 88, yeah, I think most of those came out. Yeah, 88 is pretty early, actually.
88's really early.
Yeah. So, anyway, so let's see. So, oh yeah, I was going to show the next game here. See, some of these I'm looking at, it's like Pirates. Well, oh, Sid Meier's Pirates. That's why it's S. And Sid Meier's Civilization. I'm like, why are these coming up as S? It's like, it was confusing me. Anyway, so this is one that I know a lot of people know and love, and I'm not an exception here. Okay. Now, this is one that does not like to go to a higher speed. There we go. Stunt Car Racer. Me and my buddy played this so much. Here's a question. So I know you had this, right? You had single jet.
Yes.
Did you guys have it? You didn't have two STs though, right? You didn't
just
have
one.
Just one. Did you ever have anybody else that had one that you could get
Yeah,
together
but
with?
we never hooked them up.
Okay. See, we did. We so I had an STE. I bought one, and then my buddy saw it, and he was like, he bought one too. And so we were able to have, you know, some games that could do multiplayer. We could do it, and it was pretty cool. We had we're in different rooms and stuff, and it was neat. So I just wish.
Do you ever remember Stunt Car Racer having another name? Was Stunt Car Driver or something like that?
Yes, and I don't know if it was like the European release or what, but I do know what you're talking about. I did see that somewhere. I just wish.
Oh yeah,
game
Stunt Track Racer.
Yeah.
And Stunt Car Driver.
So is it when it was released or where it was released?
Let's see. Yeah, a USA is Stunt Track Racer.
Oh, that's interesting. Why did they change the name? That doesn't make sense. It's not like it was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles having to change it to Hero. I mean, it's like it's not offensive or anything. Or
maybe Microprose put it out.
Or
so
like
maybe they decided to change the name. Yeah.
Kind of like the first Harry Potter book.
Yep.
It was the Philosopher's Stone, and I think it was I think it was like deemed that the American audiences
are too dumb to understand what a philosopher is.
I'm like,
yes,
really? Wow.
Yes. And all of the Europeans will agree that Americans are too dumb to understand what a philosopher is, and I
guess. Well, you
They don't
know.
understand that kids who read books knew what a philosopher was.
Right.
But still, I don't blame them for changing it.
It's just hilarious.
And it was
though.
the Americans who changed it anyway, right?
Okay, I don't know who actually changed it, but I just think it's funny that was a thing. That is like, really? I think I'm trying to go too fast on this track. That's the problem.
Someone had to do a find and replace.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just everywhere it says philosopher, changed to sorcerer. It's like, this
I remember
so lame.
for the Christmas right before we got this game, we got hard driving. And I played hard driving a bunch on the ST, and I hated it because I couldn't control it.
Yeah.
And I got this.
Yeah.
It's hard to control, but it's so much better and faster.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Hard driving is hard to play, man. Even in the arcade, it was hard to play. It was not. It was 3D before 3D should have really before it was mainstream, and it's hard, man, because it's just. Yeah, I remember playing that hard driving and also race driving. I think is what it was, and it was just it was rough, And I remember I was at I think it was at Disneyland or some amusement park, and they had a sit down hard driving or race driving, one of those, and the coin door was messed up, so it actually basically I could get free credits, and I played quite a bit, but then I walked away because I'm just like, I'm done. Any other game, if it were a free credit back then, oh man, I'd have never left. I'd still be there to this day. But back then,
you know what? That happened one time to me. At the Castle Park near us, Front Line was put in, and the guy accidentally left it on free play.
So is that Green
I think
Beret?
for like the first hour.
Is Frontline? Is that
on my 8 tokens for $1, I was playing free on Frontline until someone figured it out and ripped me away from the machine.
Was that the Green Beret one? One of them was
renamed. It's the one where you have the knob
Russian
for your
attack?
arm.
No.
That one.
Okay, I'm mixing.
It is like you're a Green Beret though.
Okay, I was thinking of I think it was Green Beret or Russian Attack.
No, yeah, not. This is a vertical scroller, not a side scroller.
Okay. I just remember that being a thing. Anyway, so as long as I slowed down, I was okay here. So you can practice. You can practice these. Now you can get into craziness with and actually the tracks in Division 1 where it's insane. I never got up to these. I don't know about you guys, but this is
I was terrible.
This is insane. Let's try it.
One little technical note is that this is Jeff Crammond too. Mm-hmm. It does not work at the 16 megahertz, right? It just gets all messed up. That's because he was so good at 3D, you can't do 3D the exact same way. So it'll mess up the way he draws the screen.
Now, I typically don't go here just because it's a thing that people don't like, but this also came out for another 16-bit platform, correct?
The Amiga, yeah.
Yes. And was it any better as far as the speed?
It's I'm not going to say. I think the Amiga fans say it's slightly faster, but I saw them playing next to one another, and the ST was just as fast or faster.
Okay. It'd be interesting. I mean,
Laird's Lair did it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't necessarily want to do a side by side, but it'd be interesting to see, kind of how the other half lives there. All right, come on.
Here's the ironic Amiga thing. Okay, this is considered an Amiga classic, and ST classic because it's a good game. But there was a game on the ST first that was ported to the Amiga. It's a crap game. It's a shit ST port. It's a crap ST port. It's a crap ST port. But if it was a good game on both systems, it's an Amiga classic.
This game? Or no, that's not the way. Game.
That's when you grow up Amiga. That's how your brain works.
There we go. I used to play this so damn much. I love this game.
I like the Amiga.
But yeah, I always thought especially when you get hit and you're like, oh, crack the frame, oh, and you're just sweating it. Oh, it's like, I'm done.
Have you played the Atari 8-bit port of this?
No, I didn't know there was one.
Somebody ported it from the Commodore 64 to the 8-bit. It works really well.
Huh, interesting. I'll have to check that out. Okay.
somebody. I can tell you who it was. Actually.
Oh, okay. So what's next, sir? What do we want to play?
Oh, let's try what I've opened here. Oops. I wanted to do. Do you have Operation Thunderbolt working?
I have it. Yes, let's try it. Okay, Operation Thunderbolt. Jeremiah is talking about the NES ports being a totally different game. Single Dragon, anyone? Yeah.
At least the 7800 version you can play with 2 players.
Yeah, some of those
It's
like
Single Dragon.
it's unfortunately it's like a checkbox, man. Well, do you have this on your system? It's like I don't know. I struggle with this all the time, especially playing a lot of the 2600 games. It's like it's really hard going from the arcade to the 2600 version.
It is.
I mean, for the most part. There are some that actually are surprising. It's like, wow, this is actually pretty damn good. But, okay, so we've got a big, long intro on this thing.
And it doesn't tell you anywhere, but you hit F1.
Yeah, I know. I was trying this. I'm like trying all the different buttons, and I should have thought 1 and F1 or whatever. But, all right. So this is mouse based, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we got a little voice. Rescue all hostages. All right. Voice. Ooh, ah. So I'm shooting here, but it doesn't have. So I don't have unlimited ammo. But it doesn't have a reticle to be able to show me where I'm shooting, which is kind of annoying. I guess if you're expected to be using it as a machine gun and you're constantly shooting, it may be not necessary. I don't know. Now, is this a it looks like this is a 2-player. Yeah, is this 2-playerable? It looks like it.
Yes.
How do you play with the second player?
Do not know. Let me look at the instructions.
Because that would be kind of rough. I mean, you could.
Ooh, more French instructions.
Here now I have a reticle. Where'd that come from? It's like
maybe you gain one by shooting.
I'm one shot. I have one shot now. That seems weird. It's like, okay, I got. Now it's a point and click adventure.
So you press F8 and it lets you select what controllers. So there's what controllers you use for each player.
With the little eyesight here, man, I can do so much better. It's like, oh, just a point and click.
You can see where you're shooting.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Okay. That's some pretty low sample rate.
Well,
yep.
You know, you're trying to store it on 1/2 meg disc too.
I know. But having, hey, back then, a low sample rate is still okay.
All right, sample rate.
Yeah,
I remember on the Atari 8-bit, you downloaded like just a part of a Van Halen song, and it was maybe 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Took an entire disc, and it was the most amazing thing I ever heard. It played it over and over again. So,
but you also
I didn't even really like Van Halen that much.
Oh, really? Yeah, you didn't.
I mean, it was fine. I just mean it wasn't. It was just amazing to hear sampled anything on there.
Of
but
course.
Yeah, Van Halen's fun.
I remember. Did you ever have the game on the 8-bit called Whomper Stomper?
Yes.
It was massive because it had the voice on it, and it was just like it was bigger than any other game. Like it was just like what the hell, because a lot of these games, I have the the games were, multiple games on a disc, back in the day. And but yeah, but to be honest, the audio was pretty dang good. Does I have a bomb? I guess so. I do have a bomb. I wasn't using it. But this is pretty good. So is this one
it's a little faster and more optimized than Operation Wolf.
Okay.
Now, there's another game like it called Space Gun.
Okay.
And Space Gun works at 16 megahertz, and it plays great.
Interesting. Yeah. But I mean, would it be interesting is if you could play with two mice somehow? I don't think that they ever really did anything like that. Like Blood Witch, you couldn't do two mice, could you?
No.
I mean, I think part of the problem
is...
It's
because the joystick port and the mouse port work differently, though, so you wouldn't be able to get two mice.
You sure? Really? I did not know
look
that.
at the way that, okay, so mouse button 2 or Fire's joystick port 1's, so it wouldn't work if you had two plugged in.
That's annoying. But I was just thinking it'd be awesome if you had, if you're doing Blood Witch or something. You said, okay, so F8 is mouse, F8 is joystick.
Now press 2-player.
Left button is fire, right button... Okay, so those are the mouse controls, but it doesn't say anything about the joystick controls.
You're right, didn't say.
That's kind of weird. It's like, okay, let me try the joystick.
You should play 2 players and find out, and start mess around with stuff and see what happens.
Unfortunately, I can't. Once the game started, I can't unless I
you got
quit
time.
The game. Yeah. So, my fire button is just the bombs. Oh, that's interesting. So with the joystick. Oh, weird. Wait a minute. What? I thought I did.
Is it just continue firing?
That's weird. Yeah, it's. Oh, weird. It used a second joystick. Okay, so it's still using the mouse. I don't know what the deal is, unless it's the 2-player. Nah, I don't know. Whatever.
That's strange. Oh, maybe you need to use a joystick and the mouse?
I don't know. It seems awkward. Okay, well,
why
whatever.
didn't they just put out Tramiel should just put out a 2-button controller for the ST.
Yep.
Would have solved so many problems.
Yep. Well, for any other systems, and
they had a 7800 controller.
Right, but they had another line in there. They could have, whatever. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I mean they had the 700 controller. They could have remade for the ST.
Sure.
2 buttons.
All right, next one. I'm doing mine.
Yours, man.
Mine. Next one for me. Another S game. I know I see you shiver with anticipation. There we go. Okay. STU. See, in the other one, I could just search for it, but it might be kind of cool to just have it. Yeah, it's like scrolling through. You were saying Super Gun, right? Is the one you were talking about?
Space Gun.
Oh, Space Gun. Okay, so I am not looking for that. I am looking for this.
Super Sprint.
So I really like top-down racing games. I don't know why. I don't know if it just comes from this game or this and the Ivan Man Stewart or Ivan whatever student, whatever, the Super Off-Road. I don't know. These, I think maybe because it reminds me a lot of slot car racing, which I don't know if you guys ever got into that.
No, we did. And we had an AFX slot car set that broke, a couple days after we got it.
Of course. So I actually bought a slot car set modern times, and I sold it just last year. But
no, these games are really well made too on the ST.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I just
and control it works.
Yes,
the control works.
Yes,
and something that's hard to get.
Yep, because especially since obviously this is an arcade port, but it's got the controls. They were able to map the analog to digital decently. I mean, obviously if you have analog, you could do better, but it's definitely good. As good as they could get with it. But yeah, I I also like the idea in general of these kind of games of having the upgrades. You know, you get the little
Oh yeah.
wrenches and you can buy upgrades and stuff. I It's just one of those things that these games really really hit with me because of that. You know, and little later generation, there was a game I used to play a lot on my friend's Sega Genesis. It was also out for Super Nintendo, which was actually a better version, but it was called Rock and Roll Racing, and
Oh,
it was a great game. Now, eventually, what I want to do is I want to have all of everything hooked up on this, and I could just show it, just be like, and here's a random ST or Nintendo game, just a total free for all on just be like,
yeah.
show me this game from 5200 or to compare because we've talked about that. One of the things I know you guys like to do is compare between different platforms and stuff. Oh, the ST version is this, the 8-bit
Yes.
version is this, the
I, yes.
78
I do
version
like
is
doing
this.
that.
Yeah, so be nice on here once I have everything set up to be able to set up for all the different platforms, and I'm doing badly at
Yeah,
this
it's cool.
thing.
Then you make a playlist that has all the platforms too, and then you can just compare them.
Yep, it's yeah. So I mean, but anyway, so these games, I just really enjoy them. I don't know, it just. So yeah, I think it maybe I don't know. I guess slot cars is one thing, but this is more like RC cars, which to be honest, I never was
Yes.
into. I don't know if you guys ever were, but
Well, I mean, I bought one. I bought a lot of them. I worked in Mattel, and Tyco, and they own Tyco,
uh huh,
and so I would get like great ones every like $100 ones that were down at our discount for like $20 every Christmas. And
nice.
I that Christmas Day was the only day I used it.
Oh, okay. But that's cool. So yeah, so
They're fun though.
I had friends that were into them. Like especially when like later on with the gas ones, it's like insane.
Oh, that's yeah.
I
I'm
mean, I grew up. Back in the day, it was always the electric ones with the huge battery packs that took forever to
yep.
charge and all that. But when you get into the gas ones, it's like, oh my god, this thing is a little
Yeah,
rocket,
yeah. It's a
But
little insane but fun. Like
yeah, it's big boy toys kind of thing. It's
nothing's
like
fun unless there's a little insanity applied to it. Right?
right. But yeah, that stuff.
I mean, you can have fun with no insanity, but nothing's really fun.
Yeah, you need a little bit of
It's like
anything
I'm
can happen.
scared to death of like ghosts. Well, I watch Ghost Adventures every week, hoping to be scared by watching it. Right? Like
I guess hey, whatever works.
I'm scared to death of Bigfoot, but I like shows where they search for Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean, I've never seen a Bigfoot, so I don't know if I'd be scared to death of them. But I think just the smell of it alone would get you.
I've seen there's a meme out there of it shows Harrison Ford and a dog, like a shaggy dog. I keep missing that wrench. Anyway, and it's like, when you finally get done with your acid trip, and it shows him, he's all kind of ragged with this dog, and and you're not a space traveler, it's supposed to be Han and and Chewie.
On Chewie.
Yeah. All right. What's next for you, sir?
Let's see. Since you're on the racing one, I wanted you to try Nitro. I didn't give this to you before.
Okay. Well,
If you want to try it, if it's not
we'll
set up,
try
don't
it.
worry about it.
Yeah, we'll see. Because a lot of these, just for those playing at home, these basically they have some of these they need some special attention to try to get going. I don't even know if I have that on my list. Nitro.
If you don't, then Supercars 2, if it's on there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. Okay, let me try Supercars 2. Again, it may bomb, but we'll see. Yeah, some of them I have to do a special thing with the hard drive. They basically are hard drive images and stuff, and I have to mess with it. Oh, wait, there was Super Gun, or Space Gun that you're talking about.
We'll try Space Gun.
All right, let's try it.
Yeah.
I just happened to see it.
This one I'd run at 16 megahertz. Just don't
Oh,
even worry about that. I mean, it works fine at 8 megahertz, but 16 just rocks.
why not? All right, let me do it. Let me crank it up here.
This is akin to the Amiga 1200 guys playing their Amiga 500 games that are compatible on the Amiga 1200 and showing how great they run. It's like,
Why
and
is
without saying anything, like this is just an Amiga 500 game
Why is it
doing the
already
same
set
thing.
unless I tried this already? I don't think I tried this already. Maybe it was one. Did you? when we were working on it the other day. Did you?
I might have mentioned it to you. It's not on my list, though.
I know, but I'm confused because it was already set to
Why is it set up?
It was already set to 16 megahertz.
Oh, even 16? I think I might have mentioned this to you, but it would have been a while ago.
Let me see. Well, it looks familiar. I need to see a screenshot. Oh, wait. Hold on. You know, it probably is one that you already mentioned. I just, going through these, there's so many damn games. It's hard to keep track of them.
Yeah, there's a billion ST games.
Oh, yeah, this is the one. We tried it at 60. Yeah, that's right. Oh, I remember this now.
Yes, it's one of the first ones we tried.
Yes. Okay, that's why I had to see the screenshot. Okay, or the screen of it. See, we got a reticle. They, you know, you need to know where you're shooting. Okay. But yeah, this is great. And even cooler with the 2-player, you know. Oh, don't shoot him. That's probably a good guy. Thank you. All right. Oh, am I out of gun? Press fire for credits. Press fire credits. Oh, that's for you.
I guess you.
Oh, that's for the other person.
That's for joystick 1, I think.
Yeah, I'm on the other side.
Interesting.
I'm pressing fire. It's not liking me. It's not trying to do the second joystick. Press fire. Okay. I always think it's funny when they do the credits thing on a home game. It's like, really? I guess to prevent you from just going through the entire game. Now, was this an arcade port or was this like original?
This is a Tato arcade port.
Ah, okay. So that makes sense then why it's, you know, they did the credits hold over. Just because it's like you just have unlimited credits, then you can just go through the game and, you know, beat it.
Tato is like almost a 90% hit rate with making a good arcade conversion of them as ST.
Right. Who did they have to make them? Do you know?
Let's find out. So,
Okay,
like, for instance, Imagine do it. Oh,
okay.
no. Doesn't say.
Okay.
That's not for Arkanoid.
Okay.
Let's see. Bubble. Reservoir God probably did all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. They're good.
But yeah, this is pretty good. I mean, okay. So, what was the other one you were talking about? It's was it Supercar or what was it?
Supercars 2 or Supercars.
Supercars. Okay.
I mean, there's 2 of them. So
all right.
The second one's a little better.
Okay. Almost. Supercars. We have Supercars and Supercars 2. What should I bring up?
2.
All right, let's do it.
They're both, to me, they're both the same. Okay. I like them both.
Now, did you say that this one works on 16 megahertz, or they didn't try it?
No, I wouldn't try that on this one.
Okay.
I mean, you can try it afterwards. What a great experiment. It's usually 3D games that don't.
Ah, okay.
And this is not 3D.
The one I always wanted to have better speed on was a game called Legends of Valor. I don't know if you ever tried that. It was a RPG, but it was 3D and it was just so slow. And it was just like, oh man, it would be so much better if it were just faster and just play so much better.
Sounds like something to try.
But as you said, 3D stuff is a little different.
We could try. Just if they programmed the 3D the way Kremen did.
Yeah, the issue is that I couldn't. It's one of those I need to work on. Okay.
Yeah.
So why is it? Okay.
No, did it die? It might.
No. Okay, we're good.
Okay, it works.
Just
some of these won't work on the STE.
Okay. This is interesting because it's scrolling. That's it sort of reminds me of. I forgot the name of it. Game I used to play a lot on. Actually, I will fire it up anytime I have a Neo Geo thing set up. Is or Neo Drift Out, I think, or whatever. But anyway, it's just just a top-down scrolling racer, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's interesting is this is still a small track. It's not a massive track, which is
right. It's the same scale track as one. You just played, kind of,
Yeah.
except for it's just zoomed out.
That's so weird
I mean,
that,
zoomed
they're
in.
shooting. What the? How are they shooting
Oh
me?
yeah, you can
It's a
shoot.
racing game, not a getting some road blasters thing going on there with shooting and cars that shoot, and it's kind of weird.
This is another Amiga classic.
Ah, okay. Now this was Gremlin, I think, right?
Yeah, this is an ST classic for me.
You know, what's interesting is, so I'm sure you're aware of the, well, I don't know if you are, the history of DMA design and Lemmings.
DMA Design presents
Yes.
Blood Money.
Exactly. So what's interesting is, of course, that is the origins of Rockstar. And
okay.
yeah. So what's interesting is it'd be funny if, oh, it looks like pressing up or down shoots, I guess. What'd be interesting is if they ever tried to make like Grand Theft Auto, like the first Grand Theft Auto, because this was the reminded me of is the first Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Is being able to drive around and stuff. So I guess this is just, I'm waiting for it to do what it's doing. Maybe it's trying to load up disk or something, I don't know. But it would be interesting if like the first Grand Theft Auto could have, like the origins of it could have come out on here, but yeah, I mean, their big claim to fame though was like Lemmings.
Honestly, I think he came out on the Amiga.
Okay. Grand Theft Auto, really?
Yeah, because DMA was really an Amiga house.
Right. But I know,
and of course they moved to the Amiga after the ST.
Yeah.
Got killed by the Amiga 500.
It just would be interesting because, you know, it's so it looks like you just shoot behind you. It's kind of interesting. Oh no,
nope.
I don't know. It's just weird because it doesn't shoot.
Grand Theft was DOS.
What?
Yeah. Grand Theft was only DOS. I thought it was
Yeah. Well, it also came out. Which one? Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah,
no,
the original one.
It was on DOS, but it was also on PlayStation 1 and stuff. So
yes. Yeah. DOS, Windows, PlayStation 1, Game Boy Color. But I was thinking of those
Game Boy Color,
the competing systems. So Amiga and DOS at the time.
Why would they have put on Game Boy Color? That's weird. Because
Nintendo paid them.
Wow. Well, I will say that this is very, very drivable. It's like it's almost like I'm on the Sunday drive here because it doesn't get unless I'm supposed to be.
SID?
No, it doesn't look like it. But I'm also not going super fast. Is there a shift or does it go any faster?
No idea, but you're still racing well.
Yeah.
So that may be the speed you get.
Well, I'm just looking at the speedometer thing at the bottom.
The speed.
There.
I don't know. Let me find out.
Because
Controls.
I mean, I'm doing okay, but what I mean is, it's usually okay. So the big thing with racing games is you think that you want speed. Speed is like, oh, we gotta go faster. We gotta go faster. The problem is with most. Here we go. This is why. So we can upgrade our. So we can upgrade
then your speed goes up.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at what would be speed. Disc brakes. Okay, I don't know if I have. Oh, this is repair. Not speed. Okay. All right, quit, I guess. What's trade? Oh,
Nitro Boost.
Here we go.
So you want to get the Nitro Boost.
But we can
I don't know
also
if you can
do
get it
the
here
engine.
or you pick it up.
No, look. So we've got mines, Nitro. Wow. Okay, so to get an engine, you have to get to 5,000. Super. Oh, these are better missiles. Mines, armor. Let's try some nitro. And I guess did it buy it or not? I don't know if it did or not. This is pretty good. I've never played it before. It's that's a word. Jidar. Can I buy a vowel? Holy crap! There's only one vowel in that word. All right, let's do this. But anyway, what I was going to say is a lot of people, they just wanted to go faster. And the problem is a computer game you can only get it so fast because then it's just super hard to play. You can't.
You can only skip so many pixels.
Yeah, and it's well, I just mean even if it's like perfect, like fidelity and all that, it's like frame rate and all that.
Oh, like 60.
It's still going so things are just going too fast, so that's why I find a lot of games they crank up the speed and it just becomes impossible to play. Where this is actually very reasonable on the speed, to where you can still control it, which is nice. I'm gonna have to add this to one of my more liked 26 or 8 ATARI ST games.
What about it reminds you of Speed Racer? Remember Speed Racer?
Speed Racer.
It's just you in one car and all the rest of the cars look the same.
Right, that's true. But yeah, that's true. They're all generic bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. It's very obvious to see. I still maintain. If in a video game, you should not have to work to see what you are. You're
right.
You're the player should be the most interesting thing on the screen a lot of times, because you're looking at it constantly. Yeah.
Well, and like this game, the controls shouldn't be so hard for you that the computer gets the advantage.
That's another one. Yeah,
and this game is fine in that. Like the controls aren't stopping you from competing.
Yep. But yeah, no, I enjoy that. That's cool.
Okay, what's next on your list, Ed?
What's next on my list? All right. Well, we talked about it earlier. All right. I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, I don't care. It's just a great game.
Oh yeah, this game sounds awesome. It's just one of the ones where I'm wondering how they did the sounds, and then no one else in the ST at the time did good sound. I know it must be.
I don't know.
Isn't the sound sampled?
No, it's not. It's chiptune, but it just sounds good. Peter Johnson did a great job.
Let me see what else he did.
So it's with Imagine.
It's not no other ST games sounded good, but so many of them sounded like crap.
Right, but this definitely, they did a great job with this game. Peter Johnson did. I just think it's funny also when you play games that, they have, because this was obviously a vertical game in the arcade.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to just make it super wide because that'd look lame. But I want to say maybe on the arcade game that there would have been a lot more distance between you and the thing, but could be wrong. The main thing here is the fact that the fact that they have to show on the right hand side or so, they have to have a little something other than game. So it's like it's just kind of interesting that most of the time they don't show things like the name of the programmer and stuff like they do on this one.
He probably insisted.
But
you know what? I don't mind having the gameplay screen in that sort of vertical orientation with the stuff on the side. If it makes the game better, but this game makes it better.
Yeah, because
makes it more playable. I don't want to go across the screen.
No.
So far for Arcanine.
Well, this is it kept it true to the original,
Yeah.
But this game rocks. I as far as I've never been great at it. It's one of those things that I had a buddy of mine, Matt, if you're watching. He actually bought the arcade game of this, and I think he might have actually beat it, which it does. I think has an ending. You have to fight a boss. I never have been that great at it. I've loved it, but it's just too hard.
Yeah, I love these type of games. Steve was always really good at these Arkanoid style games. Like Breakout was the first game that fascinated him to no end.
Right.
Mine was Asteroids.
Right. See, I like both of those. neither of which are like, let's see, which one do I like better?
Well, those are in the arcade.
Yeah.
Oh, and on the 2600.
Yeah.
2600.
It'd be interesting to see, like, okay, are you a breakout person or are you an asteroids person? Is that it? See, because it's like, I don't know. For me, I was like everything, as far as a game that I probably played the most though, in the arcade, Ms. Pac-Man.
Yeah, well, I played Pole Position the most.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, I just always loved driving games.
Prepare to qualify.
Never very good at them.
You know what's hilarious is this one place, one of the places I go for, like, I think my chiropractor or something. Actually, my chiropractor and my insurance agent, they're both in the same building. What's funny is that the elevator, it makes a sound like when I think it's like gonna come to the floor or whatever, but it goes ding, 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 and I'm like, beep.
You're ready for it to go.
Yeah, I'm ready. It's like the same tone, and I'm like ready for the last tone for pole position. And I did that one time, and my wife like looks at me like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, nothing. It's like pole position. Yeah. I'll have to next time I'm there. I'll have to film it just to show you. It's just funny. It's just like, little things. Doesn't take a lot to make me happy.
We have a new series that's starting next Sunday called Atari Proving Ground, and that's the one where I'm really comparing the official versions of Atari games against one another. Not really judge them against one another. Unfortunately, one will win the battle.
Sure.
But it's really like how well they use the system resources, how well they kind of depict the game.
So
and Pole Position is one of the few.
Are they like arcade ports?
One of the first ones.
Or what?
What's that?
Are they arcade ports mostly?
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, not all arcade ports. But
okay.
if it is an arcade port, then we'll judge it against like how well it did the arcade system. I mean, did the arcade game with the system limitations, and then the second set is how well it just makes a fun game using the system limitations, right? Like, because each of the systems are limited in some way. But for pole position, there's pole position on the 8-bits and 2600, and then there's pole position 2 on the 1700, and there's a pole position 2 or 1 on the ST that was a port by Jonathan, who also did the what was it? The Ferrari, not Ferrari. How come it's escaping me? The Lotus game. He did the STE Lotus game.
Yes, I covered that one time. Yeah, that was. I'm gonna keep the catch.
And Arkanoid we're gonna do also.
Man.
Because Arkanoid has a really good 7800 version. And then obviously there's the ST version, there's the Atari 8-bit version.
So you use the joystick?
With which system?
With the 7800, you said.
Yes, the joystick.
Oh, weird.
But on the 8-bits, you can use the driving controller, I think. Like,
no way, the driving controller work. Oh, wow. Well,
you can even do on the
paddles.
Peter, the guy's Video 61 where they made Tempest Extreme. You can use the driving controller on that too.
Nice.
For Tempest. So
nice.
Ooh, maybe I'll get to Tempest too. There's a version of that. There's Tempest. There's a lot. There's a lot of arcade ports. There's a lot of games that just are made for all 3 systems.
Right.
Or 4. And if the Lynx gets one, I'll do that too. And then possibly we'll do like one homebrew version too. If there wasn't, and if there's no good one on the system, then definitely we'll do a homebrew version too. Anyway.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that sounds good. I can't wait to see that. So you said next Sunday is when you're going to be starting.
That's next Sunday. I'm doing one of those. It's on Galaxian of all games next.
Okay. So I saw recently a picture of someone who had a Galaxian cabinet, and people were commenting on how rare it is because most of them are converted into Galagas.
Yes, they were.
And so to actually have an original Galaga or Galaxian is pretty rare. So
there's another game on my list called Leaving Teramis. Did you, Pythalion? Did you?
I did. Let's see.
Okay.
It's Leavin, actually.
Livin.
Like leaving on a jet plane and leaving. See?
Leaving
on
a prayer and a jet plane.
There you go.
Okay.
That's an interesting box art. That guy that looks disturbing a little bit. All right, leaving Teramis.
What did he do? Yeah, okay. I was gonna look up the ace. Someone wrote something funny about this game on one of the reviews.
I don't know. When I see intros like this, I'm always excited. I don't know about you.
Yeah, because Thalmus, right?
It's Thalion or whatever.
Thalmus? I don't know. Oh, this is Thalion.
Thalion.
Yeah, Thalion.
Yeah. But it's just like, oh yeah. That's like when you're a kid and you see the TriStar logo pop up, you know, the horse and stuff. You're like, oh, it's gonna be a good game. Hey pal, this is an STE. All right.
Oh yeah. So the great thing about this game is you're not flying. I think you're running and shooting, going up, and it's a really fun, like frantic game.
So what's interesting is you can tell. I don't know if you can tell it on the stream, but it looks like it uses that. I don't know what it's called, but the palette
Switching
to get the because all the colors you can see the cool gradient and stuff.
Well, it also is using the SDE palette to get more blues.
Right. But I just mean it's doing the flicker back and forth, you know.
Oh, right.
I can see it. I don't know if you can, but so I wonder, so this runs on an ST as well, right?
It's just upgraded for the STE.
What I mean is, though, is this a version that actually does both? Because you really don't see that much on a game that is like, oh, you actually have better hardware, so therefore I can do something.
You're correct. The better games did this.
Yeah,
the better developers did that.
Can you name many that did that? Because I don't know if I've seen any others.
There's. I mean, I can get a list. I need to get a list. There's very few.
Because just the idea of it, I like warp. Okay, so this is this really long ship, I guess. Although it's 2D, so it might be really wide too. We don't know. I guess it's really kind of not very tall. Dirty Disco. I love how there's little lawn chairs and stuff above, and they
really want to show you this ship.
I guess unleaded fuel only. Okay. I love WC. What's WC? I wonder. Again. Teramis. I love the little lawn chairs. Diesel. Wait, this part takes diesel? The other one was unleaded only. What's the deal? Anyway.
2 different types of engines on your ship?
I guess. It's doing another bit of the graphics twitching. Can you see that much on your end in doing that?
I can't, but I don't know if anyone else can.
Okay. The hyperdrive section awaits you. Kill or be killed by the most loathsome alien since the world was founded. Okay. So is this one that you had back in the day or you just found?
You know what? I don't think I had it. I think I found it a couple years ago.
Okay.
And it never made it onto one of my these series of 5 videos, like the ATARI ST games that rock. Anyway, I haven't made the 6th one yet, and this was going to go on the 6th one, but I decided I would give you some of the games that are going to go on the 6th one, like Terry's Big Adventure and.
That works. That's cool. Sure, but you should not try to stay alive. Shouldn't you try to stay alive? Should you not try to stay alive? I guess. Double negative there. Okay. So it's got little wind-up Pac-Mans. It's kind of interesting. Looks like it's a maze. It's a big maze, it looks like.
I like this one because they probably said, okay, we're not going to make it horizontally scroll, so let's just make you go vertical. Let's not even try it. Right. So they designed the game around their own limitations of their game engine.
Vertical is a lot easier, as you know. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They didn't want to add both of them.
So these look like they're going to just kill me if I step on them here, so do that. But it works, and it's got sound, and it's got thing that nobody can ever do.
There we go.
It actually has music and sound effects at the same time. Concept.
So someone learned how to use 2 channels
Yes.
plus the channel
Well,
for the
yeah, well,
2 channel music. I mean,
I'm trying to think. Let me hear.
or is it 1 channel?
It might be. It can't be 3 channels, right? Because
You wouldn't get the sound.
yeah, so it must only be 2. And what they're probably doing, they're probably going back and forth. So what you can do is, if you're smart about it, you can use the. Oh, I never went outside before. What are we doing here?
And you got to get outside more.
Yeah, apparently. What am I doing out here? Any clue?
You just left Terramith. Oh, there you
Oh, I'm leaving it. I left it. Okay. I left it, apparently. Oops, the second takes away too. Okay. For pitiable you. Okay. All right.
So this is the chiptune I can stand. I mean, these
Right.
chiptunes and the Terry's Big Adventure ones. The ones that I can't stand are the ones where they try to play drums.
Right. Well, they played some drums in there.
I'm talking about the drums that sound like you're spitting,
Oh.
right?
So I guess it,
Those are
it
the
blew
ST
up.
drums if they don't know what they're doing.
It blew up.
Or just they know what they're doing.
Never
just that's what you
again.
get
You'll
up.
see the or sleep well, hear music, taste anything, be have to work. And you're dead too. Wow. Gotta love the humor.
So what's
Okay.
next on Ed's list?
Let me fire it up here. Let's see what we got. We have. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't know if they're gonna do the or not. Let's see here. It looks like. Oh, here we go. So again, not. I don't typically play a lot of platformers, but this game really has always stuck with me. Just as being very, very, very.
Oh, this is a neat
playable.
game.
It is. I know it's a port. It was on the it was NES or probably Super NES, but it's a great port. I mean, I have a friend of mine who she was really big into Addams Family, and she played through the game like every bit of it. She knows all the secrets. She knows everything about it, and she was playing the ST version of it, or either that or watching me play. And she's like, "Oh, well, that doesn't have the graphics aren't as good, and blah 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 blah." Kind of dissing a little bit, and I'm like going, "But you don't understand. This looks amazing
For the exactly. This is,
for the ST." I mean, I don't know.
well, it's just the programmers did what they
yeah.
they did a good job. Like,
And I'm just like the movement on it. It's got the smooth scrolling. It's got it all. I mean, yes, it's a port, but it's a really good port.
right.
And it's one of those that I just always find myself coming back to this. It's just, I mean,
I didn't know you
it's
could fly outside.
you didn't know that?
No, I don't play it enough.
It's a fun game. I mean, and it's just got a lot of character, and I don't know. It's just cool. I don't know. I know it's one
Yeah,
that a lot of people.
This is a
probably
good
know.
engine.
Yeah, I mean, they just did a great job with it. Because you can go. I know there's like an area over here that you can go. Oops, died. Like that has more stuff, like another room, and there's just so much. There's so much stuff in this game, and I remember when I used to play it more, that I was kind of tripped out as to how many lives you could get, and it's because it's a pretty hard game. But you go over here, it's like, okay, you can go over here, and there's just tons of stuff in the game. It's like you can.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So the same dude programmer made 3 really good games.
The same
A game
programmer.
called Navy SEALs and The Untouchables. Both use sort of the same engine, and they play
Interesting.
really well.
So interesting. So who's the author?
The programmer who wrote the engine is a guy named James Higgins, and then
Oh.
there is a game designer, Warren Lancaster, but I think he's from
Well,
Paramount. No, Ocean. Maybe it's an Ocean guy. I don't know if he
this is
designed it
Ocean.
separately on the ST. But yeah, it's from Ocean. I mean, of all places.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, yeah, of course, were phoned in. Another one is like we haven't brought up yet, but like RoboCop, I think was Ocean too, right?
I liked RoboCop.
Yeah, that was a pretty common. Atari Legend said this is one of my favorite platformers, even with flip screen scrolling. Yeah, I mean, I think that was the game. I mean, that was
just to make the game still work.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't. I don't think it was any different on the other platforms.
Yeah.
So,
well, as long as, like I said, with flip screen, as long as it doesn't jeopardize your gameplay by showing you something you should have been able to see if it was scrolling.
Sure.
So, like, if you jump to the next screen and you automatically die because people with a scrolling version wouldn't have seen it that way.
Right.
But this is really 16 pixel jump scrolling, right? This isn't really flip scrolling. True. But anyway, it looks okay. I mean, yeah, your friend was probably mad and say that her Super NES version was better or whatever because
I think it was the colors or something. And I'm just like, but this looks amazing for an ST. I mean, have to preface it for an ST, but I just
say,
know.
Can your console do a spreadsheet?
Yeah, exactly.
Show me your console opening a 1 meg spreadsheet, and I'll show you 16 pixels scrolling on the ST. How about that?
Yeah. Try actually opening a 1 meg spreadsheet. It's funny. I was talking to my friend, also showing me electronic stuff, and those hard drives that I got from you, I haven't tried hooking them up yet. But she's like, oh, I'm like, guess how much these are, how big these are, and she's like, oh, they probably got to be at least like a 1 or 2 gig, or no. She was like, probably like 50 gigs or like something. I'm like, no, wrong letter. These are gonna be megabyte hard drives, not gigabyte.
I want to know what's on those when you get them hooked up.
I will.
That might have all of the. So the guy I got those from, and the Mega 4, he was running that Mega 4 ST with like Mac and PC emulation running. So maybe NeoJazz, Fabian, all kinds of cool stuff on that hard
I'm
drive.
excited. Yeah. But it was just, I thought it was funny. I'm like, no, megabytes. she's like, oh. I'm like, She's a bit younger. She's, I think, 35 or something. So she's a youngin'. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was showing her like the differences on she collects like hardware. She's big into hardware, and so she had she has a few different like 2600s, and she had a 400 and an XCGS, but she didn't know anything. She knows some of the stuff, but like she hadn't seen like a heavy sixer before and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, you gotta check this out. And so she was all excited. Yeah, exactly. For me it was I had a 4-switch, but
we had a 4.
Yeah, that was just a little later. I mean, that's
the
what
bulk
most
of
people
Atari
had.
2600 was sold Christmas 1981, and that's where like 2 million 4-switches were sold.
Yeah, that was my year actually, I think. So yeah, that was. I mean, that's when I think everybody kind of jumped on board, and. Because I mean, that must have been pretty abysmal. Like the first 4 years or whatever of the 2600, just kind of like, yep, we have this thing out here. Not many people have bought it. It's still kind of, I don't know. People probably were just like, oh, I got Pong, that's enough, or or whatever, or their Odyssey, whatever one they had at that point.
They didn't need it, but I mean, when you look at it. I mean, Combat really was a killer app.
Oh yeah, trust me.
It was the Wii Sports of its time.
Yeah, big time. It was so hilarious when I was playing. I had set up a RetroPie for a buddy of mine, and I was over there, and it's like, oh, let's fire up some Combat. And when I come down here, he's gonna hurt me, I think.
Nice.
I'm like, let's fire up some Combat, and I'm just playing. I'm just like. I've played it a few times, it was as in a lot. Yeah, I remember me and my nephew, he's basically my age, he's only a year younger than me, so we kind of were brothers, and so we would play, like we'd have like tournaments for Combat and stuff. It was just cool.
Yeah. Combat is like, if you're a combat veteran,
Uh-huh.
then you know how to bounce
Oh
the
yeah.
bouncy missiles off the wall to kill your opponent repeatedly. As he spins out, you keep shooting him.
Yeah, that's what I kept doing. It was funny. I was just kind of nonchalant about it too. And I was like, boom, dead, boom, dead, boom, dead. It's just, you know the rhythm, you know what you're trying to do, you know all this stuff. It's just hilarious. But all right, that's enough of this. This is just a great game. I mean, I can feel like I can just sit there and play there all the time.
You weren't able to get Pac-Mania STE running, right?
Not Pac-Mania. Looks like Atari Legend did a super chat. Thank you, Atari Legend. Appreciate it. Now
Atari Legend.
It says now my name is not there for last super chat. It isn't. It should looks like it looks like it is. Let's see. What's the next game here for you?
You're very generous.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I was gonna say, I have a game called Renegade. It's also, but it's not the side scroller.
Sure.
It's actually called Outcast or Renegade. Depends on when they put on there which version. It's
right
by Mastertronic.
Right.
It's an early 3D shooter.
Okay.
There it is, right there. Yeah.
Okay.
See, look, Outcast and Renegade. Two names.
Right. Oh, Jeremiah said that. Now my name is not there. Sorry, I saw Atari Legend and then below it. Well, sorry, Jeremiah, you got bumped off. All right.
Thanks, Martin. You were very
much
generous.
Very much appreciate that.
I mean, Ed's getting the money. I'm not getting the money. I'm just saying he was generous giving us some money a little while ago too. With some coffee, bought me some cups of coffee.
There you go. Okay, I thought that I fired this up just briefly, but so
I think it uses the mouse.
Oh, does it?
No, it uses the joystick.
It says press trigger carbon unit. I gotta love it. So
you're basically it's like a early 1987 game where you're flying and shooting, and it's faster than Star Glider. That one is faster than Star Glider.
Gotta love that. So Brian Highway to Hales. I wonder if is he related to Stephen Hales, who was
maybe.
It'd be interesting because Stephen Hales. I don't know if you know, if you recognize that name.
He worked on the Supercharger.
Oh, really?
And worked at Epic.
Well, I know he worked at Synapse too.
Synapse,
he made Fort Apocalypse, which is
Apocalypse,
amazing.
That's
game.
Steve Hales.
Yeah, Steve Hales, and he also made Slime. Was also his.
Oh yeah.
It's always interesting when I see names, and I gotta turn that down. Chip music.
But those guys worked on that Supercharger for the Atari 2600, and they moved over and worked at Epix too, and maybe had something to do with the Amiga and the Atari Lynx, because all those guys worked together on that stuff.
I know, yeah. The Lynx obviously was Epix. Base under attack. I don't know anything of what I'm doing here, so.
Oh, you're just looking.
Just look at the radar.
Very simple. You're looking at you're trying to get the little dots in the middle so you can shoot at them. That's it.
Okay, so just the radar. Just use the radar. Okay.
Yeah, radar, look for dots, and then shoot stuff. Well, I just think it runs really fast and it's fun.
Yeah, I had never played this before. The animation's a little choppy on them dying and stuff, but.
Oh, yeah, it is a little choppy. But this is Sculptured Software, which is Hales. He's an American.
Okay, so now hold on.
And he did Ninja Mission 2 and 221B Baker Street for Datasoft. It's got to be a brother of.
What about Sculptured? Didn't they also do something? Did they do something for the Jaguar?
Yes.
What did they make for the Jaguar?
I'll have to look it up. I know they lots of Atari 8-bit games.
Because I know
they did the Commando port we're talking about.
Okay, because I know Sculptured was definitely one that kept popping up for a lot of things. Have you tried any Jaguar emulation lately? Is it a thing these days?
Oh, it works great. Big PEMU. I have it installed on Lunchbox. It works great.
Excellent. Last time I tried it, it was just not at all there.
For Atari 50, the dude who created the emulator for Atari 50 put it out. It can run all these emulators, all these emulation systems now.
We're gonna have to
so Jaguar emulation is 100% perfect.
You know what's funny? I bought it. It's sitting in my Steam. I haven't installed it.
Oh. Yeah.
I got too much stuff going on, man. But I did buy it finally. No, that's cool because yeah, I mean, I could actually, I do have. I'm gonna die here. Low energy. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing besides dying. I think I just went on the ground and can't do anything. Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't look
Steve Hales
good.
gets more pub than the other Hales do.
I'm seeing a swarm of guys come after me here.
Oh yeah.
I'm dead. I'm so dead. Funny Gaming Vids. Hello, Funny Gaming Vids. Thanks for joining.
Hey, funny making it.
Simulation complete. Carbon unit. I always love that carbon unit. Cosmic. I'm a cosmic cream puff. Okay. Number shot fire. That's a bad hit to miss ratio.
Well, you could tell they were doing a little bit of a takeoff of Star Raiders. They're not. The
Yeah.
game plays a little faster, but it's your little thing at the end where you get like
you
a
get your
rating.
rank. Yeah, you get your rank.
Yeah.
I always love it. It was like, what was it in? I think it was Blue Max 2001. It was like
Oh,
the
yeah.
first rank is like Space Cadet or something. You know, yeah, Space
Also,
Cadet.
and regular Blue Max, you got one too. I was always
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, like
runway
stay on the
sweeper.
ground, loser.
Runway Sweeper. I think it was like
Runway
the
sweeper.
lowest rank. I freaking love Blue Max. That's definitely. You know, that's funny. Is like, you know, when I got to the ST, you know, I did more obviously with the ST than I did for
Yeah.
the 8-bit, and I don't know. It's just so looking at games and stuff. It's like I feel like a lot of the 8-bit stuff just stood out to me so much more, and I don't know why. It's just like there were a lot, and I'm like going, what games did I have? I'm like, I know I had some games.
Yeah, but yeah, it was early. 8-bit stuff sticks in everyone's mind because it was like the first computer they used for them. I mean, anyone that's
Maybe.
around our ages.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's, you know, we've talked about this. Like you play one game and it just reminds you of experience you had on the other one. You know. So the next one for me is it's a port, and I know I played this version of it because it's just amazing. I freaking love this game.
Oh, Black Tiger's one you can. I think you can play at 16 megahertz. Also.
Oh, can I? I tried. I didn't try 16 megahertz. I just tried doing it, and I was like, it's a bit slow. I don't know if it'll work, but if I can play at 16 megahertz, I'm so gonna do it. Let me try it because that would be awesome.
I hope it works. I know I've tried it before.
Awesome. Let me try it.
Smooths that out a little bit.
Yeah, because it's a little choppy, but the game, you know, to be honest, for me in the arcade, it's just, you know, the music's not sped up.
No, that means they did it right.
Good sign. I just, oh yeah, this is better. Cool. This is wow. This is actually just about arcade quality.
Like I said, if Amiga guys are going to show their Amiga games running on Amiga 1200 like this, then we can show them running at an Atari ST, Mega STE.
Yeah, that's what we have. We have a Mega STE is what we got here, sitting right here.
Yeah.
The rare as hen's teeth, but you know, I guess it's not as rare as the Falcon, but actually, is it?
Not as rare as the Falcon, that's for sure.
I loved this game. I think because, you know, yes, it was an arcade game, but it was just, I'm trying to think of how to open this chest. Normally it just opens.
I think you got to go back a little bit and hit it with your Rygar's thing.
No, because, I mean, yeah, I don't know what to deal with that. Anyway.
Maybe the speed.
No, because I think I did the same thing on the 8 megahertz. But regardless, I love the idea, kind of what we were talking about with the like Super Sprint, of having like power ups that you can buy, and it has little, you know, you get the Zenny coins, and you know, it's more like, you know, almost an actual RPG.
Yeah.
But you know, action RPG, I guess. But in an arcade game, that wasn't really a thing, you know. And I love this.
There's a couple games that did something like this, like oh man, I was gonna say Forgotten Worlds, where you would, I mean, it's more you're flying a little guy and shooting, But you do pick up, you do get money and more like attributes to buy and things is pretty good, but it's not as good as this.
Yeah, I mean, this just, I don't know. For me, I just really like this.
Yeah, no, this is
But,
a great game. I love that.
but yeah, I mean, I don't, to be honest, I don't know if I've actually ever played it in an actual arcade game of it. I played it with MAME, obviously, many times.
I play MAME too, yeah.
Latest super chat. Okay, Jeremiah, are we gonna have a war? Not that I'm complaining, but
what did Jeremiah say?
He didn't say that he did a super chat of $2. Now, unfortunately, it didn't show up on the thing.
Yeah, well, of course he wants a war.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks,
Ed
guys.
wants a war.
Thanks, guys. Anyway, because it should pop up with a thing, and you're watching it, so you should be seeing it. I'm looking at it full screen, so there should be a little thing that pops up that says, the thing, and it's not, and I'm not sure why.
You mean like super chats?
Yeah.
Oh, it did say latest super chat, Jeremiah,
No,
$2, but he didn't chat. He didn't.
Yeah. That's not.
He didn't send a message, Jeremiah. Like.
No. It should. No. When you do a super chat, it should. My stuff's messed up. It should be showing up on the screen a little pop up things like Jeremiah Thomas. Super chats $2.
I get into the chat and I can see them as they. Not that we have more than 10 minutes, but still.
Anyway, we can move on to the next game. What else you got here, Jeff?
I think Joust was the last one that I had.
All right, let me fire up Joust.
Which I thought Joust. This is the first game I ever played on Atari ST.
Now this was another Atari release. This was very early.
Yeah.
So 86. The Blue Box games. That was interesting how they did a lot of the Atari marketing, man. The box art and stuff that they did back in the day was just phenomenal. The whole idea they did with the red box, because let's see if I have a red box. Do I have a red box, Andy?
The red box Atari 8-bit.
Yeah, and then the blue box for the ST. It's just they did a really good job with that kind of stuff. And I mean, at this point they were they did black and white for the manuals and stuff, but I don't know. They did. It was kind of sucked because at the beginning they did a phenomenal job, and then it just kind of waned.
I'll tell you what happened. So they had a couple people that Trammell paid to do some cool marketing stuff and packaging, and then it must have been like they're too expensive, and he fired him. And
yeah, quite possibly.
Because that's what happened with everybody.
Now this won't run at 16. I try. Oh, it will run at 16.
I've never tried it. Yeah.
It will but it gets too fast. So
right.
It doubles the clock effectively. So the clock of the game, I guess, is what everyone call it, the speed of the game. But the one thing is that it is very playable. Yes, it's a little slow. You have to kind of go, okay, this is not like the arcade as far as the speed, but the graphics are identical, I think, or very, very close. Yeah. And the sound effects are, that kind of thing. It's very, very much similar. One of the things I noticed is the coming in when you come in seems a little faster than in the arcade. As far as the little thing right here and blip. Oh yeah. No, I guess I shortened it. Okay. What I always love to do.
I think you press the button while it's growing in.
Yeah, to interrupt it. What I always love to do is do this and just see if they. Let's see.
Just hang it up there.
No, you got to do the thing. I don't know what you call it, but it's the bouncing. You know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, you got to know what I'm talking about. Oh, God, tell me you don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, unless I see it.
Oh, damn it. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it now. All right, there's a special. Pterodactyl's out. He's gonna tear me a new something. Okay. That.
I've never done that.
Never done that. That was one of the things as a kid. I learned in every version of Joust, I have to do that, pull that move, just because.
And if it doesn't work, it's not a real.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Easter egg kind of thing that programmers put in. It's like, oh, does it have the bouncy move? I don't know.
Oh.
Dunk, 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 dunk. Okay, so we got somebody in chat here or we got some activity going on. I'm not paying attention here. Super Chat said, "How much for a basic programming stream?" Oh God.
basic.
Oh God.
I mean a
Okay.
basic program stream, not oh yeah,
Not
basic is in capitals.
2600.
So
I wouldn't do it on 2600, but any other platform. Well, I
I
can't
mean,
say that.
you could do it in GFA on the SP or something like
Uh,
that.
so I actually didn't. So Steve, the Vent Nerd, actually just did something with. He. I noticed he posted some pictures of. It was, I don't know which basic it was, because
Oh yeah,
it was
fast basic. I think it was
fast basic. Yeah.
fast basic cart.
Yeah, because he likes carts. I think because his company, he used to actually work for a company that made ST stuff. I'm hoping to get him on here pretty soon. And yeah, I'd love to have him talk about some of the stuff. Now, his stuff was more productivity oriented. Now, these guys are just going super slow, man. These are like, I feel like I'm in the teddy bear mode or something. You know, I was just like, even the gray dudes are like just hanging out, just hanging out.
I think once you fill through the crack, you broke the
I
game.
broke the game. I'm gonna show you what happens at 16. I was like, I feel like it'd be awesome. Actually, it'd be awesome if you didn't have to reset the machine to do it. But I'm pretty sure you have to. I have every time, but but just to see, like, to be able to turn up the clock,
It's
you know.
yeah, it's just very speedy.
Yeah, this is pretty unplayable. But it's like, yeah, it's all right. But what's funny is relative, though. I'm still way faster than the enemies. So it's like it's just double speed, nothing. Yeah, I mean, and I think that's just the way they programmed it.
Well, it's
Unfortunately,
updating 60 frames a second now.
right?
So he made the game not think ever thinking that you would move this fast, but the enemy are still moving the same rate
Yep.
or similar rate.
Yeah, that relative speed. So the problem is it's just a flaw in the game because the enemies should not be this slow. I mean,
It probably ramps up, obviously.
no, because here's what's supposed to ramp up is the okay. I have played a lot of Joust. Oh, I screwed it up. I was gonna do the thing. Anyway, the deal is that the red ones are the slowest, and they actually have names. And then the gray ones are the medium, and then the blue ones are the super fast one. Those guys are they haul ass.
I'm gonna say Peter Pereira broke the game. I don't know.
No,
So I'm
it's
good.
not him. It's not him. Okay. Let's see. What are we talking about? Oh man, I'd be on the other screen.
Just kidding, Peter.
Yeah. So
You're
this is the last. That was the last one you had.
Don't
Okay.
take away my soup.
I'm gonna play the last game here. It's one that everybody
This is
knows.
Jug.
Everybody knows, but I have to play it, and it's gonna be a night. It's more about the intro than the game, and you know the game. I'm probably gonna pick, don't you?
I think I know.
You probably do. I would guess you do. Where is it? A-N-O. Where is it? Oh, you know what? Is it the other name? Oh, wait, here we go. There we go. I gotta show this for the last game here. And it's
like an
mostly for the intro.
interesting demo.
It's mostly for the intro. I mean,
even the Shadow of the Beast intro is good.
sure. Well, yeah. This game is actually. I actually beat this game. I did it with save states. It was so hard. But I'm always down to watch this.
Turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, I am. How many times did you like have a friend over and it's like, you got to see this
Show
game?
this game.
Yeah, you got to see this game. And by the way, I know that there's an echo when Jeff talks. I
was showing Dragon's Lair also.
Yeah, but this game was
Even though I wouldn't play it, I didn't show it them.
Yeah. So Jeremiah, only for the 2600 basic programming. Who hurt you? Because no. Plus, I think it would give any viewers epilepsy because it did the flickering thing. So it was just like it does me. Actually, I guess on the stream you'd only see half of it. What you crunching on there, Jeff? I see you are driving a Ferrari. I love it's like this 3D operating system and it has 2 icons on it. That's it. See, the version I had was actually in French. Didn't have the American version, so I was like, I have no idea what they're saying in here, but simulation of experiment.
Now, is the Amiga version is playing huge music at this time?
Yeah, I just learned that a couple of years ago. I was like, what? What? Amiga version has music here too? Oh, man. I felt a little miffed. But yeah, the deal is this game, I don't know how much you've played through it, but it's hard. That's one problem with it. And it's very unforgiving. But I just, and so that's why I'm like, all right, I'm gonna beat this game. And it took a while, even with save states. A good, I don't know, couple hours of playing
That's
through
something
it.
emulation is good for, is save states.
Exactly.
Sure.
I can't say, well, I successfully beat that or whatever. It's like, no, but just the graphics on that, it's just phenomenal.
Well, you did successfully beat it.
Yeah, well, I said I beat it, but I didn't really beat it.
In one session?
Yeah, I didn't really beat it. I was the one problem is it's really bad when you have ADD and you just don't want to stay there, but you have to. You have to just do it right, because otherwise, if you try to jump, they will kill you.
Well, I plan to go and play Fantasy. What is it? Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 with save states, but I don't want to show all of it because the game goes on for like 80 hours or something.
Yeah, that's the one issue with I don't know, that guy will kill me, right? Or does he not?
Is it the rat?
No, it's like a turtle or something, and I don't think he'll actually hurt me.
It's just screen's not very big for me.
Ah, okay, it's small.
Let me see.
Oh. Fing! And you just get hit by that, and then you're dead. Dum. Okay, and it has the access code. That is one nice thing, is if you can get to a certain level, then you can have an access code that you can put in. So that's kind of cool. And you'd be okay with a 2600 basic programming / magic card stream. I want to say there's somebody that's done a video of the Atari Basic and to try to make something actually useful. The problem is, it's just you have what 100. I don't know how much RAM you actually have available, because the system only has 128 bytes of RAM. So
yes, you can't really write a big program.
Can you write anything useful? Can you write Hello World?
That's about all you can do.
I don't know. It's just to be interesting. But
You also can't save it.
Yeah, that's another problem. Yeah, you have to be able to save it.
What a great thing if the 2600 had gone further and things like the supercharger
Right.
would have kept on going. Then you could have used supercharger to save your program to a cassette, or,
yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the supercharger stream soon. I think probably within another few weeks. Yeah, so that'll be good. I know you're going to want to become for that.
Yeah, well, I come for all of them. I'm going to watch the other one this afternoon after I get back
Sure.
to the Walmart grocery store.
Yeah.
We have to go to this afternoon.
But anyway, well, this has been fun, man. I
2 hours of SD games.
Exactly.
Have me on next time you do SD. Oh well, you after you get through all your other guests. Have me
all my other guests. Everybody, and keep in mind, if you're still here, appreciate it for one. But if you are wanting to be on this show, definitely hit me up and we'll have you on. The goal with this is, as I've said to a couple people, it's like the games are kind of secondary. What we're really trying to show is just just kind of talking about just shooting and just having fun. I do want to have it so that we can have 2-player remote. Didn't get to it for this time just because trying to get all this stuff set up, especially with the remote, camera and all that stuff, was just a pain. Hoping to now have a chance where I can keep messing with a few different software packages to be able to share a keyboard, and then we can play 2-player Joust and 2-player, all these other games, which definitely will be cooler. I imagine I'll still beat you because of the lag, but it's legit. You could blame the lag and be fine.
Well, you can play combat. Try combat.
It'd be interesting. Well, the way I want to set it up, it would be very, it should be independent of anything. So, we can run anything. So soon. But yeah, so, the idea here is that for other guests, it doesn't have to be Atari ST stuff. That's just kind of something that's near and dear to us. But for me, I would love it if someone says, hey, let's show this random console that I know nothing about. Like me personally, if somebody wants to show me Spectrum stuff or Amstrad stuff or something that they really love, I would absolutely love that because, I don't have because a lot of these systems, I don't have the background of growing up with it and knowing what's good, what's bad. And I have to go rely on the internet, and say, what are the top 10 blank, games for blank, And it'd be awesome to just have somebody that has more intimate knowledge of some of these games and some of these systems that I just didn't have access to, So I would absolutely love that. So if you are interested in being on the show, definitely hit me up. I have all my socials down below and all that. And be sure to check out Jeff and Steve's channel, Into the Vertical Blank. There's in the description, I have the links to both the podcast or their website. So you can listen to podcasts wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as the YouTube channel as well. So definitely check them out. You guys post a lot more stuff than I do even. I'm not great, but you got 2 guys to be able to make content. So I'm amazed.
Yeah, well, one of us is really lazy, and I can tell you which one.
Right. No, you guys are cranking out stuff, man. I just, but it's awesome. I love seeing it.
We take turns every week now.
Sure. Okay. So
every 2 weeks, I do something every 2 weeks.
All right. Cool.
It comes out every week.
Yeah. Crapman, 2-player remote. Okay.
Crapman is another Pac-Man game that's good.
Okay. But it's not named very well, I guess. Crapman.
You know what? It has an unfortunate name.
Yes. Ed versus his guest on who can make the best program in basic programming.
Atari, that'd be great, actually. Like the contest.
Oh my God. To what can you do? And I can't imagine what. Oh,
in
man.
128 bytes, but.
No, but that's
also after the overhead of the cartridge, so in maybe 26 bytes.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because it has to have. Well, actually, it doesn't. It has to have an interpreter. Actually, no, the interpreter would be in ROM, I guess.
It's in ROM, but
we need
when you see
RAM.
When you see the Atari 2600 basic programming language, you only have 26 variables used to you, and I use that as a judge against other systems that are running the 2600, so you get 26 bytes to use.
26 variables is actually a lot. I mean,
26 bytes.
26 bytes.
26 true and false. 26
sure,
true and false.
But your program has to live somewhere. Your program has to live in memory, so it's not 26 variables. It's 26 bytes of memory isn't going to work. You have to have a place to put your program. And so your program is taking up that 128 bytes. Although
what I mean is
tokenized.
You only get 2600 bytes to use, 26 bytes to use for your program after all of that overhead, right?
Oh God, but they are tokenized, so it is a, I imagine 1 byte for kind of like assembly, in that 1 byte is one command.
I don't know how many reserve words there are.
I have no idea.
If there's more than 26, you're screwed.
I have no idea. Atari Legend, congrats on the monetization. Thank you. That has been hard fought. Great show. Congrats for the 1,000 subs. Vertical Blank. Yes, I'm impressed that today was your Your day.
1,000. We didn't want to. We don't get excited because our views are really low. So
Yeah,
we're
that's
not going to
okay.
get monetized
You got to start somewhere, man. And just getting there is, for us, that was our first one we hit, and that was a pretty big milestone. And so yeah,
Put it this way, you know this too, Ed.
yeah.
It's hard to make a YouTube channel that focuses on Atari 1, but also the second is that doesn't just create controversy on purpose to get views. That's a problem,
Yeah, well,
right?
there's that.
Exactly.
I hate the whole drama thing, just to have the thumbnails, the clickbait thumbnails and stuff like that. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you guys haven't been here before, be sure to check out my channel. We do live streams just about every week on Fridays, and then now this one I'm hoping to be able to do them every Sunday. That's going to depend on how many guests I get. If you want to be on here, let me know. But
I'll
anyway,
be back on whenever.
yep. All right, guys.